A lot of you seem to really enjoy the Force Unleashed video that I did the other week, and I know that many of you consider me to be the Knights of the Old Republic dude, and funnily enough it occurred to me that there is actually a pretty big cameo from Knights of the Old Republic in the Force Unleashed. Now, I'm honestly not entirely sure how much of this is common knowledge. I've always assumed it was pretty well known, but you guys could prove me wrong. This video may prove me wrong. But how many of you were aware that Darth Sion from Knights of the Old Republic 2 appeared in The Force Unleashed 1? If there's one very specific thing that The Force Unleashed did really well, in my opinion, was its customization. They had a variety of skins and character packs, and it was actually something that I thought Jedi Fallen Order could have done with, and could have done a lot better, and maybe have taken inspiration from. But in The Force Unleashed, you could play so many different characters using skins, and they progressively released new skins alongside their expansions, let's call them, for a few dollars or pounds, and in one of these packs was none other than Darth Sion. It's very unusual for Star Wars to do crossovers in such a way as Force Unleashed did. How you could even play as Guybrush Threepwood from Monkey Island in The Force Unleashed 2, if you really wanted to. They went all out in giving you a lot of customization options, especially in the Ultimate Sith Edition for the first game, and I really appreciated that. But for me, as much as I love the fact that a character from one of my favourite games of all time was now in this awesome new Star Wars game, there was something really off about it, and it actually caused me to never really use the skin. I always ended up running around as Obi-Wan or Mace Windu, or even just a variation of one of Starkiller's skins, which is kind of crazy because he's a character from one of my favourite games ever and I'm not choosing it. Now, this is just a quick question I want to ask you. Did you ever play the Old Republic MMO and see the Darth Sion armor set, and it looked like this? Did you ever wonder to yourself why this didn't really look like Darth Sion's armor from KOTOR 2, and why does it have a giant pad on the shoulder? Well, that's because they didn't actually model the armor set off of Darth Sion from Knights of the Old Republic. The model for Darth Sion was completely redesigned for The Force Unleashed, and this always left an extremely bitter taste in my mouth. For me, even if you don't like Knights of the Old Republic 2, if there's one thing that it did absolutely right, it was the design of the villains. They were almost perfect. Everything about Darth Sion's visual design represented him perfectly. He was pure screaming horror. His voice, his theme song, his aura, his model, everything. I thought Darth Sion was near perfect, especially in terms of visuals. And then The Force Unleashed decided to bring this awesome character as a skin into the game, and I remember as a kid buying this DLC pack super excited to play through The Force Unleashed as Darth Sion, but the Darth Sion that we got wasn't the Darth Sion that I knew. Now, is the model in The Force Unleashed for Darth Sion bad? Absolutely not. I do think it's a pretty good model. However, he looks more like Chem Val from the Old Republic than Darth Sion. I think this model really loses the essence of what Darth Sion represents. If we look at the Force Unleashed model, I think what they did with him makes him look too alien, and not enough sleeps with vibroblades. I mean, yeah, he looks beaten and battered, but when I think of Darth Sion, I remember the cracked and withering body where he literally looks like a walking corpse. This model, on the other hand, looks more like a hench alien bodybuilder that's a bit damaged and gone through a rough time. And I remember enjoying the model. I thought it was a cool model, but it just wasn't Darth Sion. I will say though, I really did like the way they made the skirt. I'm not sure what it's called. It's like a skirt thing that he wears. It's all ripped and teared, and I think it looks really good on the Force Unleashed model, so I will give it credit there. And I actually think it would be a really good fit for the normal Darth Sion model if they decided to do a remake. I personally really liked the fact that Darth Sion did look human. I think the fact that he wasn't alien made you connect with him more. This was a man that just refused to let his body die, and just let the Force and the dark side fix him over and over and over and over again, and had to suffer in this perpetual state of pain and misery to do that. Additionally, here's another little fun fact, but have any of you guys played the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Well, Darth Sion is actually a playable character in that game, and while they modelled him after Darth Sion from Knights of the Old Republic 2, they actually modelled his lightsaber combat after Starkiller. You'll notice in Galaxy of Heroes that he has the lightsaber behind his back just like Starkiller does in The Force Unleashed, but Sion never does this in the original game. he fights traditionally, but I actually really like the thought of having Sion use that unique lightsaber form. I think it suited him and gave him a certain uniqueness. As for the shoulder pad on the Force Unleashed model, I personally don't like it at all. If there's one thing from the model that I really just didn't understand, what is the point of the shoulder pad? I mean, on the Force Unleashed model it doesn't look terrible, but I just don't get why it's there. Although saying that, I think maybe my perception of the shoulder pad is a little bit skewed, because when they brought the Darth Sion armor packs to the Old Republic, they also had the shoulder pad from the Force Unleashed model, but it was the most dumb looking thing I've ever seen. It was this huge giant shoulder pad that didn't fit any of the models in the game, and it just looked absolutely stupid. But despite my slight distaste for the fact that they changed the model in the Force Unleashed, the fact that it was in there was something that I did really appreciate, as I mentioned, and Darth Sion wasn't the only character you could play as. The Force Unleashed offered so many different variations of Starkiller himself. You could play as Obi-Wan and Mace Windu and Kit Fisto and even C-3PO. There was so many options, and it's actually one thing that I really hope they improve upon moving forward into the future of Star Wars games. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, Jedi Fallen Order was a game that I thought really lacked any kind of true customization, so I think it would have been a perfect game to have skins and character packs. You didn't need to have this deep character customization tool in the game, they could have just had character packs and skins like The Force Unleashed. And for me, I really hope they improve upon that in the sequel, the general customization options you're given for Cal. It seems like they're really obsessed with having this very linear canon system where there's no fun and silliness. But at the end of the day, we do have mods and stuff like that that fix that and offer you variety, but a lot of console players don't get to experience that kind of thing, which is a shame. Now I have a quick question for you guys. Did you like the Darth Sion model in The Force Unleashed? I honestly don't think I've ever met anyone that actually said they liked the model or thought it was a good representation of Sion, so I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. Another thing that I really want to know from you guys is that did you even know that Darth Sion was in The Force Unleashed? Like, were you aware that this model, this cameo existed? Let me know in the comment section below because I'm super interested. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button. It tells YouTube that you had an extravagant time. And if you haven't, perhaps consider subscribing to join the biggest growing Knights of the Old Republic community on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, may the Force be with you. Always.